Hello, I'm James Bryant with Nonna's Italian American Cafe, and today what's cooking local is chicken marsala. Now you're going to need a couple of things first. We call it mise en place in the kitchen. Just need a couple ingredients. That way you're not stopping and trying to find ingredients while you're going. So what I got here is I have some melted butter. I also have some cold butter. I'm going to have some parmesan, minced garlic, mushrooms sliced about 1 inch. I have a raw chicken breast, about 5 ounces of cooked fettuccine noodles. You can go ahead and pre-blanch them if you want to. We're going to be putting them into our Alfredo sauce. I also have some oil. I have some heavy cream. And last but not least, I have the Marsala. Now you can use a couple of different Marsalas. What we do is we have a blend because the nicer Marsalas are going to be a little bit more sweet. So we want to have a balance. We don't want it to be too sweet, too dry, so we have a balance of 2 different Marsalas that we use. So what I'm going to do first is the Marsala is going to take the longest, so I'm going to go ahead and start with that. Now you're going to need about 5 or 6 sliced mushrooms, just enough to get over the chicken breast whenever you plate it. I'm going to do just a little bit more, just for fun. Then I have this. What I do is I 14 count, but it's going to be about 2 cups of Marsala. Alright, and I'm just going to turn up the heat real high, and about a teaspoon of garlic. Now, while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and get my Alfredo sauce going, and I'm going to start searing off my chicken. So with the Alfredo sauce, you're going to start with some melted butter, about 2 ounces or so, another teaspoon of our minced garlic, and you want to turn on the heat to about medium. You don't want to burn the garlic, because if you burn the garlic, it's going to make the Alfredo sauce not taste very good. So I'm just going to get that on medium heat, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to prep my pan for my chicken, just about medium heat. I don't want to ever put a protein into a cold pan, because then it'll start sticking. You don't want that. Alright, so far, I have the Marsala in the pan. It's going to start reducing. Now, you might get some flames. That's okay. Just stand back a little bit so you don't get your eyebrows burned off. And then we got the Alfredo, and last but not least, the chicken. Alright. Now I just want to lightly saute the garlic. So what I'm going to do is around this time, oh, you've got some flames maybe. There we go. Now about this time I want to add about 2 cups of our heavy cream. Now take my whisk and just stir in the butter with the cream so it's not separated. And I'm going to let that reduce just for a little bit. And we got fire in the hole. Now that my chicken pan has kind of warmed up a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and put my chicken breast in there. You want to make sure you have a nice sear on your chicken breast. So I'm just going to let it sit for about 5 minutes on one side. I'm going to take my spatula and I'm going to flip it over on the other side. Now that the flame has gone down in your Marsala sauce, something I like to do is I like to bring it along the edges, because what that's going to do is we have some of that good stuff that's on the sides of the pan from the sauce. So I just want to bring some of that and incorporate it back into our sauce. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and flip the chicken because I think it's about ready. Now just make sure not to splash any oil on you. You don't want to get anything pan. We got a nice golden brown chicken breast there. Now at the same time, I'm going to turn off this heat. As you can see, my heavy cream has started to reduce. You can kind of see through the bubbles of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 2 cups of parmesan. Now remember to keep the heat off, alright? We don't want to burn this parmesan. So, about 2 cups, I'm going to start whisking in to start incorporating it into the heavy cream, alright? Now if it becomes too thick, that's alright. All you have to do is just add a little bit more heavy cream and it'll thin it out, and if it's too thin, just add a little bit more parmesan. Mine has become just a little bit too thick, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add just a little bit more heavy cream to it and kind of thin it out. Now make sure you always flavor your sauces, so you want just a little bit of salt just to go in there. And of course, a great chef always tastes their food. After you incorporate the Parmesan cheese into your Alfredo, you can kind of keep the heat back up just a little bit to kind of melt the last of that Parmesan. Alright, and if you can see this with our Marsala sauce, we're starting to get some bubbles with it. That's a good sign. That means that we're almost there to add our butter. Alright, now our Marsala is at a perfect state right now. So we're going to be doing a technique called mounting your sauce. So you're going to add cold butter to the sauce. Make sure to turn the heat off as you do this. So you're going to add the cold butter to it. And you're just going to stir it in, alright? Again, leaving the heat off. There's enough heat in it to melt the butter, and it's going to thicken it up just a little bit. Now you see you got a nice amber color going there. Just keep stirring it in until you melt all of that butter. And our Marsala sauce is ready to go. Last but not least, we have our fettuccine. I'm just going to blanch it just for a second to kind of get those noodles going. You can do this ahead of time, or you can just cook your pasta all the way through and then add it to your Alfredo sauce whenever it's ready. Just stir in that fettuccine. So, we start off with the chicken. I'm going to put it on the left side. With the fettuccine, a cool little trick that you can do is just go ahead and start rotating it in your pan. It's going to create a nice little haystack. So what we're going to do is I'm going to transfer it to the pan like this. Gets it a little height. Nice little haystack. There you go. And last but not least, we have our nice Marsala sauce. Just go ahead and nicely pour it over the chicken. Now if it sticks a little bit, we can just grab a little spoon. Grab the rest of those little mushrooms, trying to hold on to the pan. And last but not least, parsley and Parmesan. And this is your chicken Marsala. This is James Bryant with Nonna's Italian American Cafe, and that's what's cooking local.